Hey, Radar here with you today. It's cold, it's wet, and it's rainy in Idaho. We had some storm stuff come through yesterday afternoon, and it went from a beautiful spring day to, well, kind of back to winter almost. We didn't get any snow, but we got a lot of hail, and it's just nasty. So I'm in the house training puppies today. A friend of mine in Arizona had called me last week, and we were talking about some things because he was out turkey hunting and he's learning how to call them that. And he'd asked me a few questions. I told him I'd do a quick video and answer his questions for him. One of the questions was about the box call. You have to change the rubber bands on these every year. They're just regular rubber bands and they'll deteriorate and dry out and break. And so I always take 2 or 3 extra sets of rubber bands with me. It doesn't matter what kind of rubber band. You just want them to fit on the call correctly so that you can gobble and it helps you with your calling instead of this being loose and the strikers just kind of being all over the place. The rubber bands hold it in place. He'd ask when you're walking with your backpack, how do you, when you tuck this away in your hunting pack, like how do you keep it from making racket? And you can see I got a sunglass cleaning cloth. And I just slide it in between there because if you're in the backpack, it'll be chirping and stuff. If you put this cloth in there, it keeps it quiet. And then you can get a long enough one you could wrap it around that helps protect it. I mean, these boxes are pretty tough. This one, my granddad got from M.L. Lynch himself. They were hunting buddies. And I'm 61 years old. He gave this to me, and I don't know. This thing might be 70 years old. I think he started these in 58. And I was born in 64, so when he designed this call was, I think, in 1958. So it's one of the original ones. And I'm still using it. Great call. But anyway, the reason I like a box call is you can gobble with it. You just grab the back of it and shake it. And that's how you gobble. I don't gobble a lot. I'll do it when I'm doing a fight sequence. And occasionally I'll shot gobble. But when you're hunting, you really don't want to gobble because not only can you call in a bird, you can call in a hunter. And if a hunter comes in, sees your big tom decoy, and he doesn't take the time to assess the situation, you might get shot. And that's why I'm a big proponent. If you see somebody walking in, or you even think somebody's walking in, you holler, don't shoot, as loud as you can, because nobody can, they'll know what don't shoot. If you holler no, it's just holler don't shoot. So anyway, I take, like I said, I put the cloth in there. You can use a paper towel, but paper towel absorbs moisture. These are kind of water, I want to say resistant. Like when you put water on them, it kind of runs off. They will soak up and get wet in a, real bad rainstorm, or if you don't have them in a bag, like a Ziploc bag. If you know it's going to rain, you're taking your box call with your slate call, you all know you got to put them in a, Ziploc bag to keep them dry. So do the same thing with this. Anyway, that's how I keep that down. I'll do some of those call sequences with a gobble and a fight sequence when I'm out in the blind this week, because we're going back out as soon as this weather chills out. The diaphragm calls, what I do with these is I take several of them with me. I probably have 12 or 13 of them that I take with me in the woods. This one's been a hot one lately that's been working for a couple of years. It's actually an elk call, but it's got a real high pitch to it, and it works really good for yelps and stuff. And I got a chew in, so I'm not going to call with it right now. But what I do with these is every year I soak them in hydrogen peroxide because that'll kill all the bacteria and stuff. Rinse them out real good, dry them off real good, and then store them in the refrigerator. Because some of these calls in here, like this brown one here, that's a 20-year-old call. And I take good care of it because it's got a really good sound to it. And the reason I carry so many calls is when I start talking to turkeys in the morning, if I've got one answer me, I'll pull out some other calls and see which one he's going to come in on, because it's just like elk. And they all sound different. Everybody thinks you got to have you watch these videos on TV or on these DVDs you get, and everybody's trying to make the perfect call. And I've said before in some of my videos, not all turkeys sound the same. It's just like people. I don't sound like anybody else, and for most people, I don't sound like anybody else. They don't sound like me. It's the same with birds. So I find a diaphragm that works, and if that tom's coming into that diaphragm, I will use a diaphragm instead of the box call, because with a diaphragm, I've got my hands free. If I'm working him in with this, I can finish him with this, but I got my hands full. If I could finish him with one of these, because a lot of times a bird will talk to one of these, and he'll be answering me, and he's coming hardcore, and if I switch to the box, he won't answer it. I go back to the diaphragm, or vice versa. I've had it where they just want to talk to the box. Because you'll hear people a lot of times say, oh, if that bird's coming, shut up. Don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. Well, I don't agree with that, because if I got a tom and I'm yelping and he's gobbling and he's coming closer every gobble and I'm still yelping, why would I stop? I mean, there's times when if he shuts up, then I'll shut up and I'll wait a little while. I mean, you can't come up with a standard on this stuff and say, well, this is how it's going to work every time. I could tell you those videos I did the other day with using the box call in the diaphragm in the morning to get them started, so it sounds like two hens looking for each other after they come out of the tree and that kind of stuff. I'm just talking turkey, and I'm just trying to figure out who's where and what toms are answering and which ones are hot. And it's hard where I hunt to tell a jake from a tom, because there's a lot of draws and we're in the mountains. So, I mean, everything reverberates, and I've had birds that sounded like they were monster toms coming in. It turns out to be a little jake. I'll know when they get close and they're right there in front of me, just about to step in the clearing. You can kind of tell because they're close enough to them, and the reverberation isn't taking place from the mountains and the valleys and draws and stuff. But anyway, that's it. I just figured I'd do this real quick for you, Kelly. You get a chance, give me a call if you got any more questions or whatever. I'm sure I'll talk to you later in the week. And for the rest of you, if you got any comments, suggestions, ideas, questions, put them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them, because on a day like today, I sure as hell ain't going to be outside messing with the rain and the hail. And it's chilly. That's one thing about Idaho. I do miss Florida rain, because you can go out and stand in it and it's actually warm and it feels good. This rain out here goes right through you. It's cold. Anyhow, y'all have a good day. God bless you. Be safe out there hunting. And remember, there's no bird worth your life. See somebody coming in, holler, don't shoot.